I love driving a convertible, even in Minnesota. But I admit I sometimes wonder if I'm flirting with disaster. Between the big rigs and the end-of-the-month movers, you can get a little paranoid, like every rake, brick, or mattress is a loaded gun. And yet, for most of us, most of the time, we change lanes, we move on. Disaster avoided.
I remember nothing, but what I'm told is...
Steve Conrad never had that chance. A radio program director, he had just left work and was riding his motorcycle home on a crystal clear March day.
The vehicle in front of me, I'm told, swerved to miss the mattress, and I somehow hit it.
His bike hit the mattress. He flew more than 90 feet, landing face first, suffering a traumatic brain injury.
I had cerebral shearing.
Spending months in a coma.
The neurologist in the hospital told my wife that if I was not wearing a helmet, I would be dead.
The State Patrol investigation found the driver who lost the mattress had tied it down with thin rubber tubing from her mother's oxygen tank. The driver was charged with a misdemeanor.
I'm frustrated by the ridiculousness of what someone else's negligence would cause upon me.
You see it all out here. You never know what you're going to come across.
Julie Todora picks up the negligence all day long. The rush hour flotsam and jetsam.
Could be anything from mattresses, tires, people hauling construction material, anything.
More than 7,000 items a year are picked up off Twin Cities metro freeways. 5,000 items so far this year alone. The traffic cameras often capture the aftermath. A truck incinerated after a mattress gets stuck underneath it and catches fire. A Star Tribune delivery truck makes a little news, driving off the highway to avoid a bucket off a skid loader. And then there are the horrifying pictures and video, just a click away. According to a recent federal study, as many as 440 deaths a year nationwide can be attributed to unsecured loads.
Almost kind of a blank space in my memory, probably just because of the trauma.
Steve Mossberg's best friend, Stephen Batt, was more like family. The two teenagers were driving old Highway 14 from Owatonna to Waseca when a 50-pound concrete block dropped off a passing flatbed truck.
Just all of a sudden it hits the ground just after rolling off the truck, and yeah, it went straight through his head at the time, so.
His best friend died instantly. The driver of the truck charged with criminal vehicular homicide. But the judge threw out the charge on a technicality, and he pled guilty to a misdemeanor, even though the driver was cited just the year before for the identical violation, a brick that fell off his truck.
He still regrets it or is saddened by it, so it's just one of those things. You don't want to be on either end of that sort of accident.
A state trooper saw the same potential a couple weeks ago when he pulled over this truck, a heavy piece of metal dangling off the side. But because it didn't actually fall off the truck, the driver just got a warning, not a ticket. And yet commercial vehicles operate under a strict set of rules. 4,000 trucks come through this checkpoint near the Wisconsin border every day. The State Patrol finds surprisingly few violations for unsecured loads.
The industry is very good at policing themselves, and it's the exception more so than the rule.
And the numbers back that up. For commercial vehicles, on average, the State Patrol issues about 136 tickets and 325 warnings a year for unsecured loads. But individual motorists, you and I, we get more than twice the number of tickets and 5 times the number of warnings.
Why aren't the regulations as tight for consumer vehicles as they are for the truckers?
Well, that's a really good question, and the only answer I have is because the legislature hasn't passed anything to tighten it up.
Well, and here we go.
There we go. There we go. We got a load all over the highway.
But the Fox 9 investigators wanted to put a few theories to the test. Just how easy is it for a load to become loose off of a truck? And if you're the car following behind, how much space do you need to leave? So we came here to the Minnesota Highway Safety and Research Center at St. Cloud State to put those theories to the test.
Our test object is a mattress, one of the top freeway debris items.
Someone really would tie their mattress down with 2 pieces of twine at either end. I mean, this is not so ridiculous.
When we go to the big box stores, if they have anything available for us, lots of times that's what it is. Or again, what we have in our garage.
We quickly learned we don't have to drive very fast for the mattress to fly off. Not even freeway speeds. At 45 miles per hour, 35, even 25. It happens every time.
Did that surprise you that at just 25 to 30 this was flying?
It did and it didn't. We would think that it would stay on a little bit better given the weight of it, but the part that we forget about is that lift that it has coming off the vehicle.
Instead of twine or even bungee cords, the experts say you should use nylon ratchet straps.
Very strong material, easy to use, readily available.
There is some basic physics at work here. Objects in motion stay in motion.
What we have in front of us is a trailer full of some typical household items.
A 20-pound object traveling at 55 miles per hour will hit you and your car with the force of 1,000 pounds at impact.
Looking down the roadway at least 12 to 15 seconds in front of you, not just off the bumper of that car in front of you.
What they call situational awareness is always key. And leave enough space between you and that tipsy-looking load. Follow the 3-second rule.
1001, 1002, 1003, so we're just about at 3-second following distance. So if something came off of that vehicle at this speed right now that we're at, we likely would be in a situation to safely avoid that.
But if traffic is tight, keep in the back of your mind an escape route.
What's my out to the right? As I look here, I really have no out. The last thing we want to do is leave the roadway. I look to my left, I appear to have a clean open lane here.
For now.
For now.
If you do need to leave the road, try not to yank the steering wheel or slam on the brakes. Keep the steering wheel steady and slowly roll to a stop.
Now, evasive maneuvers are not for everybody because those are things that can be very dangerous when we think about overcorrecting.
It seems like you also have to make a calculation of what's flying out.
The safest alternative might be just to brake, maintain our path of travel.
There's an awful lot of common sense to this just by taking the time to adequately secure a load with the proper straps. Because the stakes could not be higher on our highways. And with so many distracted drivers, the margins could not be slimmer.
One of the best friends you could ever have.
All it took was one poor decision and a fraction of a second for Steve Mossberg to lose a lifelong friend. And for Steve Conrad to have his life changed forever.
There's also a part of me that knows, ugh, dang it.
For the Fox 9 investigators, I'm Tom Lydon.